just gotten married, just had a child, and Cassie, our firstborn, was in '78. And I was looking for answers, only I didn't know I was looking for answers. And so I remember when Sussex came to town, my mom kept saying, come out, see what's going on. I said, no, I'm really busy. Why don't you go and tell me about it? And I don't know, she kept pressing in. See, I knew, I'd been to church, had all the perfect attendance pins from the 70s, Eagle Scout, God and Country, all those things. So yeah, I figured I had that part of my life all together. Really, it was falling apart inside, and you didn't even really realize it was going on. I was stunned to find out that what I was looking for, that I didn't know I was looking for, was right here, and it was the Savior, it was Jesus. And he was telling me, I'll never forget it, that if you were the only person in the world, Jesus would have died for you and paid for your sin. And I'm going, I just fell back and went, I gotta let go.
And we started coming to the church in 1976. Actually, before that, 1975, my brother and his wife had come here, and they were both Christians, and they said, you ought to go check out Grace brother and hear Pastor Larson speak. So I was at a time in my life when I was going to get married in October of '76, just getting out of dental school and trying to decide what I was going to do practice-wise. I'd been searching, met Patty, and she was a Christian, and she was kind of nudging me along in the faith. We got married in October '76, and 1977 then is when they had the Ron Sussex Crusades there. I remember really feeling convicted, like I was kind of sitting on the fence. I was in the world, but I really felt this tug towards Christ, and I knew that was the way I should go, but I just was sitting on the fence. Well, anyways, I can still vividly remember, he was talking, he was giving the salvation message, and he talked about Jesus hanging on the cross, looking down the corridors of eternity and saying, I died for the sins of Tom Castor. And that just really struck me. It made it real, it made it personal, and that's when I went forward that time and accepted Christ.
I grew up here in Ashland. I went to church every Sunday. I was in a Christian atmosphere in my childhood. After I got out of high school, I kind of canned church. I felt like church was a bunch of hypocrites, and I just really didn't want any more of that. While I was out drinking with my friends, my wife was spending time with their spouses, and one of them was a teacher here at Grace. She taught kindergarten, and she kept telling Jane how great the children's ministries were here, and Jane had a real desire to get back into church. I was very resistant, and Jane was very adamant, although she was very submissive and didn't want to rock the boat. So I said, I'm not going. I know what church is like. I experienced it, and I'm not going back. When my son Brian was in the 2nd grade, he came to me and he said, what's a choir? I felt like, my word, this boy needs some religion. I got to get him to church. He needs some kind of direction. I have nothing to offer him. I don't know how to raise him. I don't know what to say to him when he asked me the harder questions. A combination of him asking about a choir and thinking he needed religion, a combination of that and my wife wanting to go to church, and the sin that was in my life that I didn't know what to do with, I finally gave in and said, okay, Jane, I'll do church, I'll go, but I'll tell you what, I won't get involved. So we finally came, and Pastor Larson was speaking about where Jesus said, anybody who takes hold of the plow and then looks back, that person's a fool. In the context that I picked that up in at that time and that level of maturity that I was at, I realized at that time that there was no way I was going to make up for all the junk that I did. And if I kept looking back and trying to make up and trying to fix and trying to be better and trying to serve and trying to be on a committee and trying to do all this stuff in the community, there was no way I was going to get rid of this guilt. And so when I heard that Jesus Christ died for my sin and rose again, I said, I remember specifically in my mind in that era, I said, I'll take it.
My name's Doug Brown, and I'm a story of grace.
I'm Tom Castor, and I'm a story of grace.
My name is John Rowe, and I'm a story of grace.